Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to talk about leveling in contested areas. So I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks on how to avoid being ganked uh, and kind of have a safe experience out there. So these tips will be a little bit more basic. So a WoW veteran might not get as much from this video as, say, a new person to World of Warcraft or someone who's coming back from a long time away from the game. That being said, hopefully you'll enjoy these PvP clips and let's just get right into it. So the first one is very simple. It's just be aware of your surroundings and try to stay topped off on health and mana. So one thing that we might have gotten used to from the starting zones or zones like Westfall or the Barrens is that we're kind of safe. We have to worry about our health with mobs and other NPCs out there that are going to attack us. However, we're not worrying about players. So we tend to get used to a kind of pulling method where we want to be as efficient with our mana and health as possible. So we'll pull, 2 to 3 mobs before we're taking a chance to sit down and drink and eat. And when we do this, we run the risk of, a rogue ganking us or someone coming in and attacking us when we're at like 30% HP. So a big tip is just to stay topped off. So if it requires you drinking and eating between 1 to 2 pulls instead of 3 to 4, that's just something you're gonna have to do. Another thing you can do to kind of help with this is also to save cooldowns and defensive abilities for PvP specifically. If you're a rogue, you might be using Blade Fury or evasion on pulls of mobs, and say a warrior might be using recklessness on a big AoE pull. And druid might be using bash or frenzied regeneration, things like that. These cooldowns, you want to make sure you hold them on for when you get attacked in world PvP. This will help you a lot more, and you have those offensive and defensive abilities to keep yourself alive and make sure that you don't die. All right, this next one's a big one. Help out your faction. Now, this is World of Warcraft, and you chose to be representing the Horde or the Alliance. Now, helping out someone on your faction might slow down your leveling a little bit and cut into your, time to 60. However, you helping out someone else means they're much more likely to help you out or help others out when they see you or others being attacked. And in zones like STV, this is very, very important. There's many people that will halt their leveling just to go out and have fun and do world PvP. Yes, this will be less of a thing early on in the game, but if you make an alt or you play later on down the line, this will be a huge thing. STV and zones like Burning Steppes and Searing Gorge, those zones are always high in PvP, and you need to make sure that you're helping others and that in turn they help you out. One thing to do also is consider playing with higher stamina gear or with a more PvP centric build if you're in the middle of the pack at launch. I know on my optimal feral leveling build, I really don't have any PvP talents in there, and a lot of you guys were asking about things like feral charge or maybe even going Heart of the Wild NS, so you have more talents in restoration that will help out in PvP. And this is definitely something that you can look at doing if you plan to be more of a mid-tier leveler or you want to enjoy a lot of world PvP as you go. This is definitely something to consider, as it will help you out a lot in world PvP and those kind of fights. So most people at the start of the game are going to be focused on leveling, especially in Phase 1. PvP does not launch until Phase 2. While you can still participate in world PvP, none of it will be counted towards ranks or anything like that, so you can't really be rewarded in a sense for PvP. That being said, gauge your enemies. A lot of players won't attack if it's just a 1v1 in a zone, but if they have other people in their faction that are nearby, they may try and kill you. Understand that being camped and being ganked are a part of WoW on a PvP server. It's just a part of the game. It is frustrating at times, I definitely understand. However, things that you can do is always ask for help. The general chat and world chat oftentimes will come to your aid when you're being attacked. If no one is around to help you out, consider spirit resing and just going to a new zone. I know this is kind of annoying and can slow down your leveling or might interrupt you when you're doing a quest. However, it is an option. If these things still keep happening and you're being followed around or ganked over and over again, a good idea is just to choose to join a dungeon run, as you're in an instance zone and nothing bad can happen there except dying to the mobs. So another huge one is consider using an enemy alert add-on or keeping a list of known gankers or griefers. Not only will this help you identify people in your area that are probably after you and will try and kill you, but also this will feel really good later on when you're max level and you can go back, find them, and kill them. I know one thing that happened to me when I was leveling my druid is I was like level 31 or 32 in Shimmering Flats, and there was a level 37 hunter with Lupos, which was a OP broken pet back then, that was running around in Shimmering Flats killing everyone. No one was coming to help us. We were trying to group up and kill him, but his pet alone would solo us. Tons of frustrated people, obviously. I remembered his name clearly, and at level 60, I saw him in Fellwood at level 55, and I ganked him probably 5 or 10 times before he finally logged off and actually got on a different character, because you could have both factions on the same account on this private server. And so he actually got on, logged over, and started yelling at me and told me to stop camping him. And I specifically told him about the time that he killed me over and over again in Shimmering Flats. So anyways, that's my story on ganking. It felt so good to kill him over and over again. So my best tip for you guys is to fuel that rage that you get when you're out in STV and create a list of known gankers or griefers and just get payback later on them. It feels super good, and it really fosters that feeling of faction rivalry on PvP servers. So guys, those are my tips for contested areas and how you can protect yourself as a low level character out there. Make sure you use these tips when you're leveling up on Classic WoW, and I will see you tomorrow.